Why, hello again. This is WWE Colts fan back with another DVD and Blu-ray update for the month of January. This is everything I got, well, as I just stated, through the month of January. Let's just dive right on in. First DVD is a concert DVD. Trace Adkins. This was a special that he taped for Access TV. Believe it's live from the Paramount in Huntington, New York, and he performed some of his biggest hit songs. Next is the only other DVD I got, and it's WWE TLC 2014 and Stairs, because there is a Stairs match, as well as a ladder match, a TLC match, and etc. Okay, first, with the Blu-rays, I have the Target exclusive Steelbook from Columbia Pictures, starring Brad Pitt, Fury. I believe this is a fictitious World War II story about a tank commander and his crew. Okay, this next one from Lionsgate, it's not actually a Blu-ray, but it is the pre-order from Walmart, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. So when that gets released, I will have it in my possession through the mail. Okay, next from MGM, we have the John Cusack film, Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, where these group of guys, they get into this hot tub and find out it's a time machine, and they go back to the 80s. And of course the sequel is about to hit in the theaters without John Cusack. Okay, next from Warner Brothers. Well, actually it's originally from Paramount, but anyway, it's the Al Pacino movie Serpico, where this was actually based off a true story about this cop that goes undercover, and he was basically shunned by his department, and yeah. And I also should point out that this movie was directed by Sidney Lumet, who directed Dog Day Afternoon, 12 Angry Men, and so on. Okay, from 20th Century Fox, we have Black Swan. I just picked it up for some reason. I don't know why, but I did. And same goes for this movie, The Boondock Saints. Never seen it, heard a lot about it. So probably most of you have either seen or heard about it, so yeah. There is actually an interesting tale about this movie. Troy Duffy, who is the director. Originally, this movie was supposed to be released by Miramax, Bob and Harvey Weinstein. There was this documentary I've seen years ago, and he was on the phone with them. And during this phone conversation, he cussed them out. The next day, they pulled funding for this movie. So in other words, for him to finish the movie, he had to sell the movie off. I think it was to Blockbuster. Yeah, Blockbuster. And it wound up in 20th Century Fox's hands for distribution. Next from Fox, we have the show produced by Joss Whedon, Firefly. I have the movie, Serenity, which was based off the show. It's kind of like a Western meets space. Is the best way to point it out. Best way to describe it. Okay, next from Fox we have Ben Affleck in Gone Girl. Directed by David Fincher. Comes in this nice digipack. Nowadays, David Fincher movies comes in these nice packages. Well, anyway, here's where the movie is. DVD comes the same way, and it also comes with this little children's book called The Amazing Amy, Tattletale. And I gotta put my phone down so I can put everything back in the package. Okay, also from Fox, I have 3 more after this one. We have Jennifer Lawrence in House at the End of the Street. And this movie is about a mother and a daughter who move into this house out in the suburbs, and their neighbor is a sole survivor of a grisly family murder. And he has a few little secrets of his own. Okay, the next one is The Maze Runner. Stars one of the lead actors from MTV's Teen Wolf, in which a group of these teens are dumped in this maze. They don't know how they got there, and the only way to survive is, well, either stay put or get out of the maze. Next we have Liam Hemsworth, Gary Oldman, Amber Heard, and Harrison Ford in Paranoia, which Liam Hemsworth is hired by, I'm trying to think which one. Well, anyway, he's hired by one of these men to go work for the other guy and find out their secrets, because Gary Oldman and Harrison Ford are the heads of these major corporations. And they are trying to one-up each other. So he has to find the secrets of the one and give it to the other. And then the final Fox movie I have, we have Raising Arizona, directed by the Coen brothers, which Nicolas Cage stars as this small-time robber who winds up marrying the cop who always took his mug shots, and they can't conceive a baby, and so they kidnap one. And of course, it just takes a wild turn with this guy right here. Next, from Sony, we have a double feature of Al Pacino, Johnny Depp, and Donnie Brasco, and We Own the Night with Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Wahlberg, and Robert Duvall. But basically both cop undercover stories. Let's see, Donnie Brasco, you got Johnny Depp, who plays an undercover FBI agent who has to befriend the hitman, played by Al Pacino, to get entry into the mob. And in We Own the Night, Joaquin Phoenix owns this club, and he's being threatened to shut down by his own brother, who is a detective, and father, played by Robert Duvall, who is the chief of police. But basically, they offer him, turn informant or help run the biggest crime ring in New York history. So that's the choice is his. From Universal, we have another steelbook, Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. I wound up seeing this movie basically for free because of AMC Theaters and Marion screwed up the 3D presentation of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Had to go look at the poster there. Anyway, it's an interesting movie. I recommend to check it out. Now, this next movie is directed by a guy who made some comments about the movie American Sniper, which is a great movie. Don't listen to this guy or Seth Rogen or Bill Maher. Go see it. It's a great movie. There, I had to get that out of my system. Anyway, it's Michael Moore's Roger and Me. Basically, it's about his hometown of Flint, Michigan, which was practically the home base for General Motors, till they decide to shut down that factory. And he predicts what happened to them just a few years ago. Where they had to file bankruptcy and whatnot. Well, anyway, in this movie, he tries to get an interview with General Motors chairman Roger Smith. His name, Roger. Well, he doesn't get to talk to Roger Smith. He ends up talking to some PR guy. And he tells the PR guy to send this message up to the top. What would happen? I will give Michael Moore credit for that. He was right, and it happened. That General Motors was just going to need help. And they did. And from Warner Brothers, we have the Richard Linklater film with Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson, Winona Ryder, and I'm trying to see anyone else. No, Scanner Darkly. One of the first movies to be shot completely digital. It wasn't the first, but it was one of the first. And the movie is supposed to be set in the near future. There's this drug called Substance D, and the government tries to destroy its citizens. Anyway, Keanu Reeves plays a spy, and he winds up with a split personality. He doesn't know whether to be a friend to his friends or the spy. And of course, this movie is based off the Philip K. Dick novel, executive produced by Steven Soderbergh and George Clooney, which is kind of interesting. Next, from Well Go USA Entertainment, we have the Terry Gilliam directed film starring Christoph Waltz and Matt Damon, The Zero Theorem, which was a movie released back in 2013, I believe in Europe and Asia. Well, anyway, it's about this. He's a computer genius played by Christoph Waltz, which, before I go on, he actually co-produced this movie. He's given a top-secret project by management, played by Matt Damon, to discover the meaning of life. But then management sends a bunch of stuff into his way, like a lustful lover and a whole bunch of other things. And next, from WWE Studios and Anchor Bay Films, we have a post-apocalyptic movie called The Day, starring Dominic Monaghan from the Lord of the Rings movies, and Shawn Ashmore, who plays Iceman in the X-Men movies. Well, anyway, it's about these group of survivors who all they have is basically the clothes on their back and guns. Anyway, they're looking for food and shelter, and they fall into a trap set up by these other post-apocalyptic survivors. And they have to survive. And that's it. Well, that does it for the month of January, so I'll see you in February.